hero or a star might be the first dream of many kids. But what happens when these kids enter the most famous place of their dreams? Do they find it as they once imagined? Or do they unintentionally step into the dirtiest ball? Let's start with the recent case of singer Diddy, who is now facing one of the most harrowing allegations in Hollywood. He is accused of being the king of all the heinous titles you can imagine: a criminal, a rapist, a pedophile, whatever you can think of. He is currently jailed and facing 120 explosive abuse cases, including those involving minors. His freak-off parties, where various celebrities and big personalities were invited, were described as zones for his lustful addiction and depraved nature. On October 2, 2024, high-profile Texas attorney Tony Busby announced that he is representing 120 individuals, including 25 minors, who have come forward with shocking claims of abuse spanning more than 25 years. One disturbing case involved a 9-year-old boy who, while pursuing a record deal at Combs Bad Boy Studios in Manhattan, was allegedly sexually abused by Combs and others present. Another case involved the 13-year-old girl Jane Doe, who was sexually assaulted by Diddy as well as rapper Jay-Z and others present. The other suit accuses him of a similar assault in 2008 against a then 17-year-old boy who was allegedly trying to become a contestant on the reality TV show Making the Band. The identities of the alleged victims have not been disclosed due to privacy and safety concerns. However, if you want to understand just how filthy and evil this person is, then you can check out the previous video on him, where I tried to cover his insane, dark history. In Hollywood, children, especially young girls, are often sexualized by the media in ways that go beyond scripted roles. The overemphasis on a child's look, appearance, and how they are perceived sexually in public forums can lead to lasting psychological damage. The focus on how attractive they are is always a major issue in these industries. They constantly judge or treat child artists like objects, which affect how they view themselves. One of the most glaring examples of this is the pageant culture in Hollywood, where young girls are often pushed to the limit in terms of beauty and sexuality. The reality TV shows like Toddlers and Tiaras, which featured young children dressed in provocative outfits and subjected to adult-like behavior in beauty pageants, became infamous for its troubling portrayal of children. The pressures placed on these young girls to perform sexualized persona for the entertainment of others left many feeling confused, exploited, and degraded. Sadly, the exploitation doesn't stop there. In Hollywood films, young female stars are often forced into roles that emphasize their physical appearance and appeal, rather than their acting talent. In some cases, child actresses are placed in outfits and situations that would be inappropriate for their age, pushing them into roles that emphasize their sexuality in ways that they may not be fully understand or agree with. Miley Cyrus, for example, was pushed into a hypersexualized persona after her role as the wholesome Disney star in Hannah Montana. The 2013 VMAs performance with Robin Thicke sparked outrage and a backlash that still resonates today. Cyrus has since spoken about how the industry pressure led her to lose her sense of agency and personal identity. The history of sexual assault and abuse in Hollywood is long and well documented, but what is often overlooked is how many of these assaults target young actors and actresses, often in the pursuit of career advancement. Take, for example, the case of Harvey Weinstein, the disgraced former film mogul who was convicted of sexual assault in 2020. Weinstein abuse extended not just to adult actresses but also to young aspiring stars. While Weinstein's victim included some of the Hollywood most famous actresses like Gwyneth Paltrow and Ashley Judd, many lesser-known figures have claimed that their careers were hindered or destroyed when they refused Weinstein advances. Weinstein's predatory behavior wasn't an isolated incident. The systematic abuse and exploitation of young stars has been a long-standing issue in the industry. with many actors describing how they were subjected to inappropriate behavior, unwanted sexual advances, and physical assault. Child actors are often subjected to roles that require them to perform in scenes with mature content. Even outside Hollywood, there are other movies industries where the exploitation of children is very common. One of the most cited examples is Olivia Hussey and Leonard Whitening, Romeo and Juliet, where both actors were minor during the filming of their nude scenes, which has been a point of contention and legal action decades later. Similarly, Brooke Shields, at 11-year-old, started in Pretty Boy, where she portrayed a child prostitute, a role that would be highly controversial by today's standards. These instances reflect a historical pattern where the line of appropriateness was often blurred, leading to a long-term psychological impact on the actors involved. Henry Thomas from E.T. has also shared the immense stress and anxiety from his childhood fame, which included extreme physical reactions like bad wetting during performances. The documentary Showbiz Kids, featuring interviews with former child stars like Yvonne Rachel Wood and Will Wheaton, provides insight into how Hollywood's environment can be detrimental to mental health. Whether it's through nudity, sexual dialogue, or bold scenes, Hollywood has often placed young stars in situations that compromise their innocence and psychological health. A well-known example of this is the movie 13, which portrayed the lives of two 13-year-old girls exploring sexuality and rebellion. The film garnered attention for its raw portrayal of adults in struggles, but it also raised ethical concern about the exploitation of its young cast, particularly actress Yvonne Rachel Wood, who later spoke about the psychological toll the film took on her. Similarly, Natalia Portman was subjected to a highly controversial scene in the 1994 film The Professional, where her 12-year-old character shared a sexualized kiss with a much older actor, Jean Reno. Although the film received praise for its artistry, but the boundary-pushing content raised serious questions about the appropriateness of placing a child actress in such scenes. The same problems still exist today, but they have changed a bit or are happening in different ways. The issues are ongoing, but they now have new details or angles. A film like Cuties on Netflix caused a lot of debate because it showed young girls performing dance routines that many people felt were too sexualized. The controversy came from the idea that the movie might be using children in a way that's inappropriate, even though the filmmakers argued that it was meant to comment on the pressures girls faced in today's society. Some saw it as an artistic expression, while others were concerned if it could encourage the sexualization of minors. This sparked a broader conversation about what is acceptable when it comes to movies and TV shows featuring children. Despite ongoing public outcry, Hollywood continues to fail in its duty to protect child actors. While some changes have been made to the laws surrounding child labor and working hours, the deeper issues such as sexual abuse, harassment, and the pushing of inappropriate roles remains largely unaddressed. Organizations like Screen Actors Guild have attempted to put protection in place, but the powers of producers, directors, and agents often supersedes these measures. For many child actors, Hollywood remains a place of exploitation and broken dreams, with only select few surviving unscratched. One of the major obstacles to progress is the culture of silence surrounding these issues. Child actors are often too afraid to speak out because of the risk of losing their career or being blacklisted. This creates an environment where abuse can flourish and young talent is left to suffer in silence. Hollywood has a complex relationship with its youngest stars, offering fame and fortune, but at times at the cost of innocence, mental health, and personal safety. It is a place where child labor is technically legal, and many children are forced to work for long hours by their greedy parents and producers. While there have been steps towards better protection, such as stricter background checks and the formation of advocacy groups like Best Parents Foundation, the industry still grapples with its dark legacy. The stories of those who have suffered are a stark reminder of the need for continuous vigilance, reform, and a culture shift toward protecting, rather than exploiting, the most vulnerable in the entertainment world. The narrative around child actors in Hollywood needs to shift from one of potential exploitation to one of genuine care and safeguarding, ensuring that the magic of cinema does not come at the price of child's well-being. Thank you.